injury, the herniated disc. They've been worried a couple teams early, but he was projected to go in this general area. So the back injury really didn't push him down the board at all, Lou.
Yeah, look, he's one of those guys who, look, every time I went down to Coral Gables and talked to Mario Cristobal, he said, this guy reminds me of Penei Sewell. He has that kind of ability, both in terms of how he can play on the football field in the run and the pass game, and how he elevates all the players around him. And when Miami had to have it, that's who they were running behind, big number 61. So John Harbaugh knows. He knows Jackson Dart has to stay healthy. Quarterback stats aren't just an offensive line stat, they're also a quarterback stat. But they need to be firmer up front. They need to settle on a group of 5. He needs to be one of the people who leads the charge. This is a foundational building block about look, you want to build it front to back, inside out, right? Here it is. This is how you do it.
And if you look at what the Giants have done, talk about building it front to back. Arvell Reese, CC Mauigoa up front. Guys that can affect the ball in the front 7 on defense, and from an offensive line stand, this is a powerful player. You're talking about moving men against their will, the most powerful offensive tackle in the draft. He could kick inside the guard, but I think he's the right tackle all day, every day. And now you have a guy that when you need that tough yard, when you need to line up and be physical, you can run behind CC Mauigoa.
Certainly sounds like a John Harbaugh kind of team, doesn't it? Making those decisions on the offensive line. It's a new era for the New York Giants, and they are building it on the line of scrimmage. Perhaps no big surprise there. I'm told, by the way, the Dallas Cowboys have traded up into the next spot, so they'll be making the next selection. But before we do that, we do this. Marriott Bonvoy, Laura, standing by with Francis Mauigoa.
CC, what do you want to tell Jackson Dart about how you'll help protect him on this Giants O-line?
I'll die about this shit, man. Man, I'm ready to die for you, man. I know a lot of things has happened, bro, but I'm ready to die for you, bro.
You have an ode to American Samoa on your jacket and your family, and even growing up there, you had to create your own football gear. There's a lot of kids that you're a role model for. They're watching tonight. What's your message to them?
Hey, man. Born and raised in American Samoa, man. Never thought I could be here, man. If I could do it, you can do it. Simple as that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
CC Mauigoa is a New York Giant, and there is the jacket that Laura referenced, a tribute to American Samoa. So the New York Giants, again, building it from the line of scrimmage. That's Arvell Reese and Francis Mauigoa. They're both headed to the Giants. And the Dallas Cowboys, will the Dallas Cowboys move up? Well, the answer turns out to be yes. They move up one spot. You see the compensation that they offer to the Miami Dolphins to move up to this one spot. So obviously a player the Cowboys identified that they could absolutely not afford to pass up on, and we'll find out who that player is. Here comes the commissioner to announce the Cowboys selection at number 11.
With the 11th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Caleb Downs, defensive back, Ohio State.
Another Ohio State star. He actually was the SEC Freshman of the Year at Alabama in 2023. Transferred when Nick Saban retired, off to Ohio State, where he was a unanimous All-American in both of his seasons, won the Lott Trophy, the Jim Thorpe Award, Mel, and a national champion.
What do the Cowboys need on defense? A culture change, right? They need an alpha coming in there. This team allowed 30 or more points in 9 football games. Jerry Jones was watching his offense, Dak and friends, go up and down the field. Then the opposition's going to go right back and answer every touchdown and keep scoring. They're still scoring against that Cowboy defense. They couldn't stop anybody. This kid is going to tolerate nothing but winning, nothing but working. He's the smartest football player Nick Saban ever coached, because Nick said it, right? You talk about that freshman year. First Alabama freshman to lead the team in tackles in school history. He had 16.3 average per punt return with a touchdown in 2024. He played for 3 different defensive coordinators. This kid may not be Cal Hamilton in 220, but pound for pound, one of the best football players you will ever find. Please say he is an alpha. I thought even at 2 for the Jets it would make sense, because he will change the culture, and nobody on defense needs more than that for the Dallas Cowboys.
You know, coaches always talk about, I can coach you up, but you got to go on the field and play. When you send him on the field, you have a coach on the field. He's got high-level instincts, and what does that mean? That means you don't have to tell him where the play's coming. He can feel it out. He's seen enough football. He can get guys lined up. When you look at a Cowboy defense, that needs to get better in a lot of areas. You're going to have your coach on the back end and Caleb Downs, an instinctual playmaker. I'm not concerned about his size. There's some concern about his size and the tackling. I didn't see him miss many tackles, Luke. I think he'll be able to get ball carriers down.
What he's going to bring is just a calming influence, a calming, communicative, playmaking influence in the secondary that they lacked last year. Last year, not only did they get beat physically, they had miscommunications, coverage, busts, all that stuff. And look, Mel, you talked about it. Where he comes from, having played at Alabama for Nick and having played now at Ohio State, where he was at, without a doubt, him and Sonny and Arbel ran that show there. He's going to run the show in Dallas. He's going to go in there from day one. And new defensive coordinator Kadyn Proctor is going to say, hey, look, we moved up in the first for a reason, to bring you in here as you're one of the people who's one of the forward-facing people on the team, and we need you to make plays and get people on the same page and not miss tackles just like you did at Ohio State. He was an absolute sniper at Ohio State as a tackle. You rarely saw somebody get loose from him once he put his hands on him, and that's what he's going to need to do too. Turn that football over.
According to ESPN's draft predictor, there was only a 12% chance that Caleb Downs would be available at number 11, so the Cowboys may have gotten themselves a steal here, and Caleb Downs.
Minutes ago, you were on the phone with Jerry Jones. What did he tell you about the Cowboys' plans to use you?
First of all, I just want to say thank God. Without that, none of us would be here. Just thanks for my Savior, Jesus Christ. But it was a great conversation. I honestly couldn't hear him much. I was too excited to listen. So I'm just excited to do what I can do and be committed to the team.
We'll ask Jerry later what he said. Now, your brother Josh is a wide receiver for the Colts. Your dad Gary, a running back in the NFL. How special is it for your family that you now get to carry on this legacy?
It's an awesome feeling. Honestly, God's blessed us with a lot of favor to be in this situation, and I'm so thankful to be here. And our family, I can't even say enough words about them. There's a lot of love there.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
So Caleb Downs is a Dallas Cowboy. The Miami Dolphins up next. Mel, it's reasonable to say they need almost everything. We have 30 seconds.
They do.
Where do you go from here?
Well, you got Monroe Freeling and you got Kadyn Proctor, the two offensive linemen I was talking about for the Cleveland Browns, still on the board. They could go any direction, but it all begins up front. And you got to give your quarterback Malik Willis a fight. The linemen are there. Proctor and Freeling both available for the Dolphins.
So a new era in Miami, new coaching staff, new leadership, new quarterback, new opportunities, and let's see which player they've chosen as their first pick tonight. Here comes Roger Goodell, pick number 12 tonight for the Dolphins.
With the 12th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Kadyn Proctor, tackle, Alabama.
Well, there he is. And I don't need to tell you, the first thing you notice is the size. He is 6'7", 352 pounds. 3-year starter at left tackle, a freshman, All-American in 2023, All-SEC for the last 2 years, consensus All-American in 2025.
So you look at Kadyn Proctor, the talent is in abundance. He should be a Pro Bowl player. He should have been a dominant player week in and week out when he was playing at Alabama. First game against Florida State, he struggled. He had some concentration lapses, focus lapses. He allowed a sack, 2 quarterback hits, 3 hurries, and a penalty in that game. Second half of that game against the Seminoles, he had all kinds of problems in that game. He got better as the season went along. I think he qualifies somewhat as an underachiever. For all that talent, you got to dominate in college. Kadyn Proctor can be as good as Kadyn Proctor wants to be. If he wants to be a great, he has that talent to be that guy. But at Alabama, there was too many missed opportunities and pass protected where he let inferior players beat him. Focus issues in terms of penalties. He's got to figure all that out and become more consistent to realize all of that talent and ability that he possesses.
And some of that has to do with his weight. He's got to make sure that they keep his weight down, because when he's in shape, he can play the left tackle spot and he can play at a high level. Alabama split him out at wide receiver. They put him at running back. They threw him to football in the National Football League.
Hey, that's what you're betting on. You're betting on the football character developing to the point where he's a self-starter, right? That you don't have to sit there and you don't have to babysit him all the time and say, hey, look, hey, Kadyn, it's in